Hello and welcome into this week's ARCA Series Rewind show right here on Racing News Now. As always, I'm your host, Garth Allen. Thank you once again for joining me today. If this is your first time catching a Racing News Now video, we are in our hashtag Race to 1K. If you haven't done it already, go down below, hit that subscribe button for me. It is free to do. The quicker we get to 1,000 subscribers, the quicker YouTube will let us do mobile live streaming, which will vastly improve both the quality and quantity of coverage we are able to give you when we're able to get back to the track. Alright, tonight we are talking about ARCA's return to the Lebanon I-44 Speedway in Lebanon, Missouri, the Zinsser SmartCoat 200, and boy was this a wild race. I got a little worried in the beginning of the race when pole sitter Brett Holmes jumped out to a ginormous lead in the first handful of laps, probably first 20-30 laps of this race. Brett got out to such a large lead, and the field kind of got spread out. There was only 14 cars in this race, so when the field gets spread out in a 14-car race, even on a 3/8 mile track, there's enough room there to where you can get enough spaced out that nothing is really happening. So I got a little worried we were going to have one of those kind of races tonight. But then it changed rather quickly. Right there about lap 30, we started getting caution after caution, cars spinning other cars, we had wrecks, we had drama, we had races for the lead, we had so much happening in this race. This turned into quite possibly one of the best ARCA races of the season, and it didn't look like it was going to be in the very beginning of this race. So let's break this one down for you. 5 caution flags total for 28 laps in this race. First one came at lap 36 as Chandler Smith got spun off the nose of Hailie Deegan in turn 1. This would set up a very bad night for Chandler Smith. It would only go downhill from there. Lap 70, racing for the lead, Brett Holmes gets spun in turn 1 again by Hailie Deegan. This would set up a trend throughout the rest of the night in terms of how cautions happen. This also became the first break, so the first chance for crews to make pit stops and make adjustments to their cars in this race, as this was just shy of the halfway point in this 200 lapper. Third caution of the night came at lap 93 as Chandler Smith spun again in turn 2. Already laps down at this point, and the night continued to get worse from here for Chandler Smith. Lap 120, again Chandler Smith, this time with Chris Wright spinning as well. Final caution came at lap 151. It became the second break of the night, but was also caused by a wreck between Michael Self and Chris Wright. Self's night got even worse at this point as he had made some contact earlier in the race with some other cars. Had to come down pit road, get that damage fixed. He was laps down at this point, and it just got even worse from here. Not a great night in the championship points battle for Michael Self. 3 leaders on the night. Hailie Deegan led the most laps tonight, which, if you saw practice times today, may not have come as much of a shock, as she was the fastest car in practice today. So I don't think it came as much of a surprise that she led the most laps in this race at 85. Not far behind her, though, was Brett Holmes with 69 laps led. Also probably should not have been a surprise, as he won the pole by a large amount, actually, and then again ran away with it early in the race. But again, they had their incident there in the middle of the race where Deegan spun Holmes racing for the lead. So the question there becomes, did Holmes get back to the lead by the end of the race? But then we have the third driver that led laps in this race, and that being Sam Mayer. Mayer led only 46 laps in this race, the least amount of anyone that spent time out front in this race. So which of those 3 drivers would come out on top in this race? Would it be Sam Mayer for the 3rd time this season? Would Brett Holmes pick up his 2nd career victory? Or would it be a historic night seeing the first female winner in the ARCA Series in the form of Hailie Deegan? It would be the driver of that 21 car, Sam Mayer. Now that he has won his first races in the ARCA Series, they seem to be coming a little bit easier. Mayer took home the checkered flag at Lebanon I-44 Speedway. What a fantastic race this was. It wasn't the greatest battle for the win, as after the final caution, Mayer just kind of pulled away. Never really had all that much of a challenge from Brett Holmes late in the race. Holmes, though, after the race, very aggravated with how he was raced in this event, specifically from Hailie Deegan. Did not really pull any punches in the post-race interview. Made some alluding to a possible payback coming in the future. We'll see how that plays out in the final races of the year, but I think Brett Holmes probably had the fastest car in this race, so it's a shame that he was not able to finish this out and win the race, but we will see how this plays out throughout the rest of the season. There could be long-lasting implications through the rest of the season from tonight. So keep an eye on that as we go through the rest of the season. There could be some things to watch stemming from this race. Taylor Gray came home in the third position, was not running third at the white flag. Made it up to third because Ty Gibbs and Hailie Deegan got together in 1 and 2 on the last lap. Gibbs got into the left rear quarter panel of Deegan, spun her around. Lots of damage to that 18 car, barely was able to limp it back around to the checkered flag, and actually Deegan almost got back around Gibbs at the line after she had looped it back around, got it back in the right direction. She really didn't have all that much damage to speak of after that, whereas Gibbs was barely limping it home, and she was almost able to get back around the track before Gibbs got to the line, just barely missed out on it, with Gibbs coming home in fourth and Deegan in fifth. Sixth place tonight was Michael Self, 1 lap off the pace at the end of this race. The night just continued to go downhill for Self from the very beginning. Fought his way fairly well back to a 6th place finish. I think that's better than a lot of us would have expected him to finish after what he went through tonight, but definitely took a hit in the points tonight, as we will see once we get to the point standings. Obviously, with Brett Holmes finishing in second and leading a good chunk of laps in this race. Chris Wright came home in 7th in his second race for Chad Bryant Racing. Chandler Smith 2 laps down in 8th. Drew Dollar had mechanical issues at one point and was on pit road for a good number of laps. Finally came back out and finished 9th, 6 laps off the pace. And Mike Basham, got to give a shout out to Mike Basham in the 12 car for Fast Track tonight. Top 10 run there for him. Good run all night for that team. A very underfunded team. Good to see them finish in the top 10. Final page 11 through 14, Tim Richmond, Owen Smith, Brad Smith, and Tim Monroe. So that's your results from the Zinsser SmartCoat 200 from Lebanon I-44 Speedway. Now let's head over to see which point standings look like after this race. They are shaken up just a bit. 14 races down, 5 races confirmed remaining in the ARCA Menard Series schedule. Still trying to get a date reassigned to that Illinois State Fairgrounds dirt race, but as of now we have 5 confirmed races left in this season, and Michael Self now leads Brett Holmes by a single point. This championship battle is going to go right down to the wire in Kansas. It's going to be very similar to last year. If you're a Michael Self fan, hopefully not in the fashion that it went down last year for him, as he just barely got beaten out by his teammate Christian Eckes last year. If you're a Michael Self fan, you're not wanting to see the deja vu in that respect, but I am so excited to see how this turns out, because at this point it honestly could go either way. And the thing about it is, with Hailie Deegan now only 48 points out in third, Drew Dollar 52 points out in fourth, realistically neither one of them should be able to get back into this championship unless we have some bad races from Self and Holmes, which are possible. It's not out of the realm of possibility for Deegan or Dollar to get back into this championship battle. They're not so far removed that they can't do it. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me to see one of them still within striking distance by the time we get to Kansas. This is going to be exciting. We might even have a wild card thrown into this in the form of Hailie Deegan or Drew Dollar by the time we get to Kansas. The way this season has shaken out, nothing would surprise me at this point, and it's just going to be so exciting to watch as we get down through the rest of this season. We have got a championship battle for the ages. I said that last year, and we've got another one this year. Great stuff we're seeing this year in the championship battle for the ARCA Menard Series. But that's your point standings following Lebanon, and I believe that will do it for us tonight on the ARCA Rewind show. A NASCAR Heat 5 coming up on Wednesday. A little bit longer of a stream this week since we missed this past week's stream, so definitely tune in for that 6 p.m. on Wednesday. Next ARCA race will be Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern, the Toledo race, the third Toledo race of the main ARCA schedule this year. Of course, we'll have a watch party for that, so definitely come hang out there if you're not already. If you're not already hanging out in these watch parties, you need to be. They are a great time. We chat about the race. We keep you informed about what's happening. We just have an all-around good time in those watch parties. So if you're not already hanging out in those, you definitely need to be. Especially if you don't get MAV TV or Track Pass, we definitely keep you as updated as possible as to what is happening on those MAV TV and Track Pass races. If you haven't done it already, definitely go down below, hit that subscribe button for me, ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing going forward from RNN. While you're down there, hit that big thumbs up button for me if you like the video. It is much appreciated when you do. And thank you, as always, to our Patreon supporters, President Gambit and Regional Manager William Holmes. Thank you, as always, for your support of RNN. If you would like to be a patron, the link is down below in the description. Patreon.com/RacingNewsNow. Not required by any means, but definitely appreciated if you support us in that way. But I believe that's going to do it for this ARCA Rewind show. So at that, as always, I'm Garth Allen for Racing News Now.